I am Joy from Denver, Colorado, and I am re-recording this video for the Global Share Fair for September 2021 because something happened and it disappeared from Facebook. So I'm re-recording this. I am going to be using the Painted Christmas Suite. It is from the current mini catalog. It has these two wonderful stamp sets in it. It also has coordinating dies that go with it. And it has these gorgeous gold leaves and the cherry cobbler and gold ribbon, as well as these beautiful designer series papers. So I will be using that to make my kind of a two for one in with the dies. So it's a large die and you put it on one piece of paper and then you cut it out and you can make two cards. So I've got the Christmas season stamp set with the seasonal label dies, the Christmas to Remember stamp set for my greeting, along with the Christmas pine cone dies. If you're wondering why I have red pine cones, I got my inspiration from this photograph, which I found on Facebook, showing how to make red pine cones with food coloring. And I saw those colors and I saw that picture and I thought, I really need to use this as inspiration for my cards. So I am bringing in some of the evening evergreen for my card bases. So I have cut a sheet of cardstock in half to get two card bases. So let's go ahead and fold those in half. They've been scored in half. And let's go ahead and use our bone folder to get a nice crisp crease. So then I have this beautiful designer series paper. It is this side on the back and this side on the other side. I wanted to use this side. So let's go ahead and mount this. This is a standard first layer for a card. I am using the A2, but you could do this with the A4. Pardon my coughing, as I am going to just record this live, which is how I did it on the Global Share Fair Facebook group. It was a Facebook Live, and some strange technical glitch happened, and it disappeared, so we are just starting over again. So let's set these aside and bring in two pieces of the basic white. They are 2 3/4 inches by 4 inches, or 7 centimeters by 10.1 centimeters. So now let's go ahead. One of my little tricks I found is to separate them just a little bit and then use some clear cellophane tape to tape them together. So that it is a little bit easier when you go to trim that. And you do need to trim them with scissors rather than with your paper trimmer. Let's set that one aside and bring in my already die cut images. The Evening Evergreen is the more solid layer, and then Basic White for the more detailed layer. I have taken and put adhesive sheets on the back of this cardstock before I ran it through my cut and emboss machine, and I had to run it through a couple of times just to make sure it cut through all of that. So let's go ahead and see if we can get this peeled off without too much trouble. So these are very delicate, so you do want to go kind of slow to get these off of here. just kind of work with it. Don't get too worried about going quickly. Let's just get this off. And there's a little piece, Chad piece, I didn't get removed before I started, but I tried to get a head start on this so that you didn't have to watch me do a bunch of this on camera. Let's go ahead, see if we can get the rest of this off. Okay, there you have it. And I forgot I was going to attach these two together first, but since this already has sticky on it, we are going to do it differently this time. We're going to go ahead, make sure all your little chads are out, and we are going to attach this right on this piece. If you don't stick it down really firmly right off the bat, you have a little bit of wiggle room with this. And it is a little sticky, but it is easier than trying to use liquid glue for this part. All right, so there we have, that part is down. Now we can do this really fine detail part. See all that gorgeous detail? Let's go ahead and get this out of this very carefully. And check to make sure all of the chads are out. And then I went ahead and lined it up according to my pine cones. And it is just a little bit offset. And it looks like snow with this beautiful not whisper white, it's called basic white now, with this beautiful basic white on top of this evening evergreen. Just kind of line those pine cones up. And then just kind of let those branches go, kind of offset. Make sure that it's down good and firm. And then you want to bring in your paper snips, and you want to cut it even with that basic white piece right through that clear tape. Okay. So I already have a couple that I've completely trimmed, so I will use those pieces just to save a little bit of time. And as you can see, that is 2 halves of that large die cut. And I'm bringing in pieces of cherry cobbler to layer this with. The cherry cobbler is 3 inches by 4 1/4 inches, or 7.5 centimeters by 10.6 centimeters. So let's go ahead and attach those. Leaving an even border all the way around. I love my Seal Plus. It makes it quick and easy. So you can still see that I have 2 halves there. Now let's bring in the pine cones. Some of them I've already adhered the 2 layers together. And then I have some cherry cobbler of the solid and real red of the detail dies here. Pardon me. My throat's just a little bit dry. So hopefully that doesn't cause too much issue with this video. It is live after all, so this is the beauty of live, is you just kind of have to go with the flow. Let's get this other one. Make sure all the little Chad pieces are out of there. And I do have the adhesive paper on the back of the real red. So let's get this lined up here. All right. So now we need dimensionals on the back of those. So I'm bringing in some mini dimensionals. You could use either the white or the black mini dimensionals. I'm just using the white because that's kind of what was handy here on my craft table. Let's get plenty of dimensionals on there so we don't have any saggy middles. And then we're going to line up these pine cones onto the other pine cones. So there's those 2. And then I put a third one up here. Kind of not exactly matching that one up there, kind of bringing it in just a little bit. There we have that side. Let's complete the other side. This is not quite as much fun as doing it on Facebook Live because I can't see people's comments, but you know, you can certainly leave me comments and I will check them and answer them later. The description and the measurements are going to be in the description of this video. So if I forget to tell you a measurement, don't fret. They will be posted in the video description after this video has posted. All right, there we have those. Now we need to bring in some of this beautiful cherry cobbler and gold ribbon. It is very pretty. It has this really pretty gold shimmer running all the way through it, kind of woven in. It does tend to fray. It will fray a little bit less if you cut it at an angle. So I'm going to show you how to do this faux bow. You take a long strip. This one's approximately 6 inches or 15.2 centimeters. And then a short strip, which is approximately 3 inches or 7.6 centimeters. And you're going to slip that right in underneath that little knot there, or the start of a knot. And then you're going to pull that tight around and kind of play with it just a little bit. Oh, there it went. I'm gonna have to start that over again. Now, again, the beauty of doing things live, I will go ahead and trim those frayed edges off. I did leave it a little bit larger so that I could do that. Let's try that one more time. Tighten that good and tight around there. All right, there. Now I have both of them, and I can go ahead and attach these on the back of this layered piece. So, let's see. I'm going to do this one this way and do it all the way over to the edge here. And then this one is going to go the other direction. All right, now we have those pieces ready, and I'll trim those at the end. Let's go ahead and bring in our card bases with the DSP layered on the front. And let's attach those. So I'm going to attach them into the corners here of this DSP for a different kind of a card layout. Sometimes I like to do things just a little bit different to, you know, add a little additional interest, something a little out of the ordinary. Okay, there's those two. Now I'm going to set these aside and bring in my Stamparatus. As I've already mounted the 'Tis the Season from the Christmas to Remember stamp set, and I have a die cut piece out, you know, the negative part, and I'm going to slip the positive part into that, bring in my Evening Evergreen ink and my 'Tis the Season stamp. See, I need just a little bit more ink, I think. Oh, much better. Let's close up my ink so that I don't get ink in places that I don't want it. Set that aside and let that dry just a little bit. Let's see, while we go ahead and do the one that I've already mounted and put on dimensionals. I did bring in some of the Evening Evergreen, about 3/4 inch wide strip. It's a little bit longer than I need, so I'll trim it off with scissors. And let's see, 3/4 of an inch wide is, let's see, I have some notes here if you wondered. You know, I am just not exactly sure. Oh, 2 centimeters, I think is what that is. You'll have to double check me if you are somebody who uses metric measurements. Let's go ahead and put that right at the edge of our card. So there's that. And bring in this piece, which should be dry now. Going to just put that right on the edge there and leaving an even border on the top and the bottom. And then bring in some scissors, and my paper snips seem to have disappeared. So I'll just grab some long blade scissors and we will just make those do. Put some dimensionals on the back. Again, making sure that we don't have saggy middles. These dimensionals really don't cost much, so it makes it nice to be able to use as many as you need. So this piece is going to get attached to the second card. Again, putting it at the edge of our card. And the card is opening long ways, like a tent card. Now it's time for these beautiful gold leaves. There's some there. Here's a few more. They have these really pretty tiny veins running through on the one side. So if it doesn't have tiny veins, you'll know that that's the back side. Bring in some glue dots and just attach one on the back side of each of these. Oh, there it is. They're jumping around on me. There. And a small one. And then another large one. To go and tuck in right up here. So there is that card. Now let's do it on the other one. Again with our glue dots. And just 2 more leaves. Getting those. Yeah, it doesn't want to tuck under. There we go. And one last one. There we go. So there's that part. Let's go ahead and give the ribbon here just a little trim. Get a little bit of that fraying off. So there's that part. And then I went ahead and stamped my envelope using the Christmas season stamp set, the large pine cone, the more solid and the more detailed. I used real red for the more solid, cherry cobbler for the more detailed, and then this pine bough right here in the evening evergreen. So I've done envelopes and I have 2 insides here. So let's quickly attach those. So that we can have 2 completed cards by the end of this video. Okay, there you have it. 2 completed cards, basically 2 cards out of 1 die cut. And if you see something that you would like to order, please be sure to order from the demonstrator that invited you to the Global Share Fair group. If you do not have a demonstrator and you're seeing this on YouTube for some reason, you can contact me and I would be happy to get this ordered for you. So again, please order from the demonstrator that invited you to the Global Share Fair, and we will talk to you next time. Bye!